First of all, the East was never nothing to play with. I've taken that personal because we represented it well during our time. You know, I know, again, like I said, it's not about violence, but it's men. We as men, we ain't never back down from nothing. So that's history. If you find somebody who worked with us, let us know. You know, let them show up. Sit here and tell a story how they go with it. It never happened. I love the East. I'm diehard, man. You can't take that from me, man. I represented it. We made it. We made the East what it is. No discredit to any young person out there. But boy, you wasn't there in the 80s when I was out there banging out from the 80s. So, you know, when they was really coming out there kidnapping.
Today I'm in New Orleans, I'm just swung over there on the East.
New Orleans East has become notorious for crime.
We in New Orleans, pop on the East at Reese Seafood.
New Orleans East, you heard me?
Boy, I feel checking man on the East Side.
Yeah, I thought the East where you go and live good at. Dogging.
People think I'm from New Orleans, but I'm from Chicago. We moved down here. And when I say that, it was a
So you originally from Chicago?
Yeah, I'm from Chicago.
What age were you when you moved to New Orleans?
9 years old.
Okay.
So I was 9 years old, and I met Micey, you know, when I was 11, 12, right after we moved here, and I lived in the Grove, Pecan Grove. People don't know that. And the East was a project, a real project. I grew up around some gangsters. It was some real gangsters in there, man. I'm talking about some. I remember we had to shut the place down because they got into it where they robbed some Cubans and Colombians back in the day. And I'm telling you, it was warned. Kids had to be inside at a certain time. It was, you know, they didn't even know those type of things. People like Lucian, would say less. I ain't gonna say all their name, but people in the Grove. I shout out to everybody from the Grove that I grew up under before I moved to Mizzou. So when I moved out to Mizzou, and I met people with like minds, and Micey stayed right there around the corner from on Wilson. He stayed on Wilson, and his family stayed there, and we stayed in the actual project thing. But Micey was there every day with us. But when I went and moved into Mizzou, Micey moved, we all moved into apartments. Giovanni, Tweet, Sam would come back there all the time. I mean, it was just, we just melded together because we was lost, man. I ain't gonna lie, we was lost and wild.
Today I'm in New Orleans, I'm just riding through all the I'm sightseeing. Swung over there on the East. Shit, the East ain't what it was for 2004. I thought East way. Shit, I thought the East where you go and live good at.
Boy, I feel checking man on the East Side.
We talking about the East, bro.
Nah, I'm out of Bernardo, but I fuck the East though, yeah. I always want different dabbing in the East. I'm from New Orleans, uptown, you know, the heart of the streets.
I represented it. We made the East what it is. No discredit to any young person out there. But boy, you wasn't there in the 80s when I was out there banging out from the 80s. So, you know, when they was really coming out there kidnapping and doing, right now it's a multiculture out there. And what I mean by multiculture, you have everybody from every ward living out there, so they got these situations going on. So it looked like the East is just one crazy, but when you just had people that was living in the East, from the East, and represented the East, like this is where I'm from, not I'm from this part, but I moved here, but we represented the area. And we started the fight back with the Valley Boys and this ward and that ward and this ward, but and guess what? We're all friends now.
You say kidnapped. You getting kidnapped in there?
Boy, kidnapped with U-Hauls like it was like it was. But the crazy part is, early on they really wasn't killing, but then they started killing them later. And God rest his dead to all the people that died in that during that time. But yeah, it was bad like that. You know what I'm saying? So when it was coming out there, so we started putting our, you know, like we stopping that as far as, you know what I'm saying, the way it is.
Gotcha.
So, you know, just let it be known, ain't no hoes was in the East, man. And if they did, they got hoes everywhere. So you know what I'm saying? And then they got the ones who bout it everywhere.
Old whispers, a lot of murders happened over here. So a lot of got killed over here.
It's big. The place to be seen is Club Whispers. Club Whispers.
Club Whispers?
Yes.
My house. I used to do some wild stuff with that. I was there. Yeah, that's when you get to fight people from out of town and uptown and downtown, get into it with people. It was just that way. You know what I'm saying? I never was looking for trouble, but I was like, it's cool.
But you talking about some of the biggest names in the city come through Whispers, bro.
Yeah, we didn't. You know, it was crazy. It was just a crazy time. Like when you young and wild. That was the East House. You gotta represent where you from. Like you can't let nobody real talk. Like it was. It was like you look at it now as you older and you think of stuff like, well, that was crazy or that was disrespectful. But at the same time, you can't let nobody disrespect you when you're in that world. And when you're in that world, you gotta lay low now. Like, hey man, like let me back this up. Like I heard they was talking about the East was hoes because they dressed was cute. I had a Jerry curl. Yeah, I played. It was a time. I had a Jerry curl, big medallions. I got the pictures. I'll show you. You can play some on there, let them know. But I wasn't getting with, and none of me and my dudes was gonna get with, and that's the truth.
Jerry curl, bro. Inspiration for that. What did a Jerry curl?
When I was a player, man, my name Pimp.
Especially then that was the shit.
Come on,
You
man.
get a Jerry
Talk to me. Back then, man, I didn't have a Jerry curl, man. I had a leisure curl. Let me get it straight. $100 curl, baby. I had about every 3 months I was playing. Back then, you know what I'm saying? When you see the pictures, 4-finger rings, big diamonds, we were the superstars before rappers, before football players. You gotta realize we made Soul's jewelry. We was the one. He know us by the name. We were the young kids with big old medallions, paying $20,000 for jewelry as kids, homie. And I want to give shout outs to East Show fighters like Eric Hudson, Third, Maine, Byron. It's just so mighty. It was just so many of them that stood up with us and against us. And believe it or not, when Sam said Eric Hudson was when I see him on site, we was at each other's hat. And we became good friends, believe it or not. He's, I respect him because he ain't back down and none of that. We was, so I just want to respect everybody who held their ground.
He's still around in it?
Yeah, Eric's still around, man. Good dude, man. We grandfathers now. See what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? So our children's children know each other. Our children know each other. You know what I'm saying? So it's like crazy, but we try to teach them different,